Yeah, look at the Palazzo, which is once upon a time part of the Teatini Palazzo, and this is Sant'Andrea della Valle up there, this big thing. This was where my seminary was, and my room was right up there, up on the top. And turning around and looking the other way, you can see there's a building back here that has a curve to it, and that's because it's built onto the top of the remains of the theater of Pompey. It was the first stone theater in Rome, and it stretches out this way towards where the Largo Argentina is, all on the other side of that business, and that's over there where Julius Caesar was killed. And as you can hear the choir up there, maybe. I don't know how sensitive this is. I've always liked this little corner here because you get a great view of Sant'Ivo by Borromini, and then walking around this way, I'll just take you on a little walk. Yeah, and then there's this guy. Yeah, oh boy. I'm going up this little alley here, and we eventually arrive at the birthplace of Gioacchino Belli, very poet who wrote in Romanaccio. He wrote wonderful sonnets. They're terribly anti-clerical and absolutely delightful. Eventually had quite the conversion though, and more about him. I've talked about him every once in a while, but very important for Rome. Let's go over through the tunnel. Wow, you see they've got it all very nice and tidy. Yeah. That only happens about 300 times a day. And we're at the Piazza di Santa Chiara, and there are Clarisse here, and this palazzo is where Catherine of Siena died, and her body is just around the corner in Santa Maria sopra Minerva. Turning this way, we have the French seminary. This is the entrance to their chapel. It's really a tragedy what they did to their chapel. It's just hard to imagine the bad taste. I mentioned that around the corner is the place where Santa Caterina di Siena is buried. Well, she's buried in here. This is the great Dominican church, one of the only Gothic churches in Rome, Santa Maria sopra Minerva. They've been doing a lot of work in there. And here's the famous Bernini elephant. And right over there you can see the edge of the Pantheon, the side, in a rounded side. If you go up a little higher, and when people not cooperatively echo, you can get a little bit of the dome. And this here is the facade of the Accademia Pontificia, where they do training for men who are going to be in the papal diplomatic corps. I don't know how successful it is. Right down there is where the other clerical shop is. Gammarelli, you can't see it. Barbicone is up the street up here behind all that, where that construction is. And there's a thing on the wall here that tells you that the author Stendhal stayed here. He's the guy who wrote The Red and the Black. It's an important novel, I think, for every seminarian to read. And walking over here, we find it's back that way is the French seminary. And if we go over here, we get to the ecclesiastical store called Gammarelli. And because there is a consistory going on, or consistory was called, they put cardinal stuff in the window. And so I'm now going to go in, and I can see through the window my friend whom I was supposed to meet there. And in I go. Since they don't have my measure in black right now, I'm trying these. What do you think? With gold buckles. What do you think, Stefano, Max?
Nice.
And there's Aiden. Hi, Aiden. Yes. We're approving of the shoes. Okay. Well, the measure is just right.